Alright, welcome back everybody, hope you're doing well. Today we have another episode of Am I the A-Hole? Pretty much if you don't know the series, we just kinda judge people. Like a stranger on the internet posts a story on Reddit about their lives asking if they made the right choices and if they are the a-hole in their particular situation. We then judge and decide if they're a good person, so yeah, comment below. Okay, yeah, that's pretty much the series. Make sure to subscribe if you enjoy these videos, and yeah, without further ado, let's begin. Am I the a-hole for making my son eat leftovers when everyone else had their favorite meal? Well, from the title it seems like yes, but we'll see. Me, 34-year-old male, and my wife, 35-year-old female, have two kids, Adam, who's 12, and Jasmine, who's 8. We both came from cultures where rich people wasted a ton of food. Oh, that's some nice culture. While there were people starving just around the corner. So we're conscious about food waste. Also, I've seen relatives with kids that were extremely picky eaters, and it wasn't something I wanted to deal with. Okay, this one's gonna hit home because I'm 100% a picky eater, but how I get around that is I make it explicitly clear, I will not eat this. If you give it to me, you're wasting food. That way it's on the other person and not me, you know? So I don't ask for something if I'm not gonna eat it. So when Adam was old enough to start being fussy about his food, we introduced a new rule. If you don't finish your dinner, it's gonna be your breakfast the next day. Okay, right off the bat, this is an absolutely horrible parenting tactic because I know as a extremely fussy eater, it is like physically impossible to get the food down your throat. Like the tongue just does not agree. It's pretty much torture. Like I can't do it. So I don't know about Adam, but if he has like the same type of condition that I do, you can't do that. That's inhumane. And honestly, people act like you have to eat this specific food or you'll just eat junk food. There's plenty of other different healthy foods that don't taste like dog shit. You know? This was mainly to get him to finish his veggies. When he was old enough, he started picking his own serving sizes, so we weren't forcing him to eat extra. So you were forcing him before? What the heck? These parents are 100% a-holes. We're both good cooks, so he enjoys and finishes most of his meals promptly. We kind of forgot about the rule for a while until Jasmine started becoming fussy recently, so we introduced it again. To make it fair, Adam is also doing it. Last night, he overserved himself and couldn't finish a lot of his food. By the way, if you do this and you order like way too much food, do not shove it down your throat. That's just a horrible thing to do to yourself. Either you chuck it in the trash, you know, is what it is, done, or, you know, find a way to give it to someone else. It's just so stupid to like forcefully overeat. Like, you messed up, don't mess up again. This morning, my wife's family came over for breakfast, so she wanted to treat them and made her special French toast, Adam's favorite meal, which he got excited for, but when we sat for breakfast, he was shocked to find a plate full of leftovers waiting for him. His face got gloomy and he ate in silence. He was too full by the end to eat any of the breakfast. This is an absolutely horrific rule. Why are you like torturing your kid? Like, okay, they should learn not to waste food, but this, like, he clearly, like, knows it. He hasn't done it for so long, right? Once in a while, it's bound to happen. People aren't perfect. After breakfast, her parents berated us for being cruel and torturing him. Yeah, 100%. Why is that in quotes? That is literally what you're doing. We defended ourselves by saying that it would be unfair on Jasmine if her brother gets to avoid his leftovers, but she never does. Now, I think I could have been the a-hole because he's been really good about eating his food recently. Also, we could have just made him finish it for lunch. So Reddit, am I the a-hole? Yes, 100%. Now that you bring up that you could literally make him finish it for lunch, like, Jesus Christ, you guys are stupid. Honestly, parents sometimes just really don't understand how kids can be like fussy eaters. Sometimes, like, I don't know if this is a condition or whatever, but like for me, dude, it's physically impossible. Like, I don't know. Like, legitimately, I will gag before I get something I don't want down my throat, you know? Okay, wait, that sounds hella sus. Never mind. Okay, so in conclusion, you are the a-hole. Your son just seems like a regular human being and you're just torturing him, essentially. Okay, here we have a story saying, am I the a-hole for not wanting a baby to sleep in my room? Okay, listen, this could easily go either way. I live in Dallas and we're going through hell because of this winter storm. My family's house had to deal with rolling blackouts for the past few days, but yesterday's the day that it looked like our power was back on for good, which led to my mom inviting our neighbors to stay with us. For whatever reason, their power hasn't been on for the past few days, and my mom invited them to stay with us without even consulting anyone else in the family. These neighbors have 3 kids, one of which is a baby who's only a few months old, and out of nowhere, my mom told me that the baby and its crib were going to be in my room. That pissed me the frick off since she didn't ask how I felt about that, but she wouldn't listen to my protest. She never does. Last night, I was trying to get some sleep, but the freaking baby was being noisy. She wasn't crying, she was just making random baby noises, and I couldn't deal with it. She eventually fell asleep, and so did I, but then she started crying, which woke me up. The parents came in and started consoling the baby back to sleep, but I was still up when the baby woke again and started making more baby noises. I decided to take action on my own. I ended up moving the crib into my sister's room, and when she started crying again, it was definitely better for me. Okay, reading the story so far, it just seems like you're a pretty spoilt person who can't take the slightest bit of compromise. So you're telling me you're in like a hell of a winter storm in like an emergency situation essentially, and you can't even deal with like a baby being in your room, dude? Really? So I heard a bunch of confusion in the hallway. The baby's mom was wondering why the crib was in my sister's room, and I just pretended to be asleep. But my mom slammed my door open and immediately called me out. This led to a giant argument between me and her in the hallway. I was arguing that it was not fair that the baby sleeps in my room, but once again, my freaking B-word mom already decided that she was in the right and that she's not to be questioned. Then the neighbors and other kids woke up and the entire house was watching me and my mom scream at each other. Okay, dude, you've got issues. You really called your mom a freaking B-word? Jesus, dude. I could already tell from the story that you were a spoiled child, but Jesus Christ. Things eventually calmed down and the baby went back in my room, but once she was asleep, I pushed the crib into the bathroom and she wasn't discovered until this morning when the baby's dad found her in there. Now they're mad at me, but I'm pissed at them and my mom. My mom keeps calling me a brat and the neighbors have already scolded me for what I did. So I retorted by calling them terrible parents who wanted to pawn their baby off to me instead of taking care of her themselves. Oh my god. Now my mom is blaming me for the current tension in the house. Who's the bad guy here? Dude, let me just give you some advice real quick. How about you learn to deal with compromise and stop being a spoilt piece of trash, dude? First off, you don't really get to talk to your mom that way, especially when she hasn't done anything worthy of you saying those words to her. Clearly you're really selfish and there's like zero respect for her, and you just want to sleep peacefully while somebody else, deals with the baby crying, right? I feel like at least in like an emergency situation, you should really not complain and just be thankful you're alive, You're the a-hole, let's move on. Am I the a-hole for asking my roommate to be more polite towards my guests? Well, it depends who exactly your guests are, but let's see. So I, a 20-year-old female, live with Erica, a 27-year-old female. She's usually nice and cleans up after herself and all that stuff, but we had an issue recently. Last week, a guy, Josh, 21-year-old male, I'm seeing, came over sometime in the evening. When he arrived, she was in the kitchen cooking some kind of curry. Josh and I went up to my room almost right away, and once we got there, he sort of awkwardly said that he absolutely hates the smell of curry. He can't really be around it because it makes him want to barf, and he said he had to leave. The last time before that, when Josh slept over, apparently Erica was blowing her nose an ungodly number of times in the morning. He could hear it because her room shares a wall with the bathroom, and it grossed him out a ton. Apparently, he also heard her fart super loud when he went to the bathroom late at night once too. Basically, he thinks that she's super gross, and as a result, can barely stand to be at our house. We've actually had discussions about getting serious, but he said that the Erica thing is holding him back from it, since he didn't feel like he could date me if he didn't think that I had the kind of friends he'd want to be friends with, or set up with his friends. This morning, Josh came over and Erica was hard boiling eggs, and again, the kitchen smelled like farts and he had to leave. Bro, what the heck is going on? Why is Erica farting so much, and why does Josh have a problem with it? Okay, this is a pretty funny story, but it is Erica's house, right? So pretty much she can live however she wants to. Like the curry thing, okay, if you make a unbearable smell or whatever, curry smells fine. I don't know what type of curry this was, but if you can't stand the smell, I get it. But then the farting, blowing your nose, those are just natural, normal things that humans do, and that's not supposed to bother you to the point where you don't want to be in the house. I don't know, dude. Josh seems like he kind of just complains about everything. I confronted Erica about trying to be a little less loud or cook less smelly food all the time, because I feel like it's really rude towards Josh that she's literally making him so uncomfortable that he needs to drive back to his house 25 minutes away and waste all that gas. Okay, listen, I don't know what the heck is Erica doing. It can't be just farts, bro, don't they like dissipate in like, I don't know, a minute? Like, why does he have a problem with that? To my surprise, Erica, who's normally calm and polite, I've never seen her mad before. Even when I accidentally ruined some of her expensive kitchen stuff, she didn't even ask me to pay for it because accidents happen. She got really angry and said that she wasn't going to adjust her whole life for random people that I'm sleeping with. Ooh, Erica firing shots here. I was really hurt by the random people comment because it's not like I'm sleeping with different strangers all the time. And I told her that all the things Josh had said about her just being generally disgusting, like with the nose blowing sounds and the farting. And she said that her bodily functions are gonna happen, like it or not. I mean, she does have a point though. Why does she have to like compromise if she's literally in her own house? I was still hurt and told her it was no wonder that she's still single at her age. Ooh, this is a cat fight. That she couldn't show basic respect to other people. And also said the thing Josh said about not wanting to be serious with me because he thinks I surround myself with bad or impolite people. Erica then said the reason he isn't committing to you has nothing to do with me is because you're gullible enough to believe him when he feeds you like that. Once again, I'm not changing my life or magically stopping my bodily functions because of someone who has not said more than 2 words to me at a time. I basically just walked away crying at how much it had escalated, and now I'm posting here. So scenario number 1, Josh doesn't really like this girl and he's using Erica as an excuse to like just get away from her, and he doesn't want to like break up with her or something. Pretty much he wants her to go away, but he doesn't know how to tell her, so he's just using like the scapegoat as Erica. Or situation number 2, Erica's just really smelly, bro. I don't know. Listen, I'm no fart enthusiast, but if a fart has the potency to drive to convince a man to drive 25 minutes away, I don't know. What type of alien hybrid ingredients are you putting in the curry, dude? Okay, listen, if I had to pick a side, I think it's most likely that Josh is the bad guy here, so I'll say, okay, you're the a-hole. Alright, here we got a story saying, am I the a-hole for not picking my daughter up from a sleepover? Okay, this sounds like a pretty bad situation. And the sky is thundering. Nice. This happened about 2 weeks ago before the whole pandemic fiasco. My daughter was 10 at the time. I'm also mom to 7 and 4-year-old boys. Okay, my daughter got invited to her friend's sleepover party. This was the first time she's ever slept over at someone else's home by herself. I made sure she had everything needed before dropping her off at 6 p.m. and promised to pick her up at 9 a.m. the next morning. At around 10, she called me crying saying that she wanted to be picked up. She's feeling left out and barely knew anyone since her friend is in another class. She was being excluded from their conversations. We were able to pick her up. Her friend's house is about 10 minutes away from ours, but I was watching a movie with my husband and it was rare quality time we got together. I knew she was well taken care of there, so I told her no and I'll pick her up in the morning. Nope, that's a big red flag. So pretty much what happened is that your daughter is 10 years old and you know she changed her mind and she started crying and she wanted to go home, and you chose to skip out on her just because you're spending quality time with your husband. Okay, sure, I get it. You have quality time, but then it's your 10-year-old daughter. Come on. I think her needs come first. I used it as an opportunity to teach her to write out her decisions. Oh my god. That's right, fellas. I'm teaching my 10-year-old daughter how to write out her decisions. She ended the call by telling me that she hated me. I would hate you too, because I feel like I'm in like this foreign land and my mom's not coming to pick me up. When I picked her up the next morning, she was very mouthy to me and told me how horrible her night was. For a week after that, she refused to help with anything or do favors we asked to get revenge on us. So am I the a-hole? 100%. This is pretty much just being a horrible mom. Like, your priorities should be to your 10-year-old daughter, not some quality time with your husband, which by the way you can pretty much do anytime. Anyways guys, that's about it for today. Hope you guys did enjoy. Make sure to smash that like button if you did. Subscribe if you're new. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Let me know who you thought was the a-hole in all these stories, and I'm glad you enjoyed the series. And yeah, that's about it. Bye bye.